Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the Grey Zone with Ali Mansoor, a show where we challenge assumptions, stereotypes, viewpoints on various complex issues, and hopefully foster critical thinking. Recently, there was a tragedy at Gul Plaza, Karachi, a fire that took many lives and left many people jobless and their businesses that were literally gutted worth millions. So I thought let's do a show on fire safety, fire protection, and what are the global measures we have towards fire protection and fire safety. Let's jump into the show. The most dangerous part of the fire is not the flames, but in fact, it's decisions made long before the fire started. And every major fire starts with the same question: was this an accident or was this allowed to happen? Fires are a global problem, and there are huge financial consequences. Let's start with Karachi as a case study. Gul Plaza, the recent one, 2026, but there was also one in 2016. Clifton Shopping Mall near Teen Talwar, 2025. Millennium Mall, 2025. Rimpa Plaza, 2024. Empress Market, Noman Plaza, 2024. RJ Shopping Mall, 2023. Chase Up Store, 2022. And Chawla Market, 2021 are just a few to put into perspective this discussion. If we look at it from a global point of view, according to World Health Organization 2023 report, almost 180,000 deaths annually are caused by fire-related burns. So the question is, why do fires keep happening? Some key reasons are design shortcuts. People highlight conspiracy, unsafe materials, weak enforcement, paper compliance, what we call tick in the box compliance, and weak penalties. इस पे मैंने सोचा कि क्यों ना थोड़ा ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स को रिव्यू किया जाए. ग्लोबली फायर रिलेटेड बहुत सारे स्टैंडर्ड्स एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट्स टॉक अबाउट IFC, इंटरनेशनल फायर कोड. दिस टॉक्स अबाउट अलार्म्स, sprinklers, exits, hazardous materials that you need to keep away from. The second one is NFPA, Line Safety Code, which is National Fire Protection Agency Code 101. It focuses on human evacuation, the width of exits, travel distances within a building to exits, emergency lightings. It's usually enforced in hospitals, malls, places of high footfall, and high rises. Then there is the IFC code, which talks about alarms, sprinklers, exits, hazardous materials like claddings on buildings. Then there are the European codes. This is very interesting because they mark their codes as CE. And only products that comply with CE fire resistance and performance standards can be used in building materials, building construction, and even building repairs. The fifth one is International Standards Organization, ISO 23932. It's used in design stage to address fire safety, how in case of a fire, the smoke will exit the building in a more controlled and directed way, and a modeling of the evacuation plan. So this is more at the design and paper stage when the architect is sitting and designing a building. You take ISO 23932 and you implement the suggestions within it. Then there's ISO 7240, which is smoke and heat detectors, reliable alarm systems, backup power configurations in case, because when there's a fire, usually electricity is switched off. So the exits and all should have backup power. What should be the backup power configurations? This talks about that. Then there's also ISO 834. So what they do is this talks about fire resistance of building materials and how the resistance is measured in minutes: 30, 60, 90, 120. Why is this important? Because the longer time anything takes to burn, the more evacuation time they have. So now what are the measures that we can do in Pakistan, in Karachi, in particular, related to fire safety? Some very basic and simple measures: smoke detectors, heat detection alarms, automatic fire sprinklers, fire blankets, fire extinguishers, clearly marked unlocked visible exit routes, and battery-backed lighting. Another thing that often comes up is, what if, God forbid, you are inside a building that's on fire? So first of all, first rule, stay calm. Use the stairs, not the elevators. Stay low to avoid the smoke. Remember, smoke rises. So if you stay low, you'll avoid the smoke. Cover your nose and mouth with a cloth and exit immediately. The second question that comes here is, what if you see a building on fire? First of all, keep a safe distance. Remember, it could engulf itself more in fire. There could be flammable materials that could come and fall on you. So keep a safe distance. Do not block the emergency exits. Call emergency services. When you call an emergency service, make sure your call is brief. Make sure you give them details because the details that you provide are vital for the kind of response that the emergency responders will give. For example, there are people inside. How many people do you know are inside that fire? Are there any people injured? That will determine how many ambulances they need to send, what kind of paramedics they need to send. Let's say there are people protesting outside, then they need to send police accordingly. What kind of a fire is it? Is it an oil fire? Is it a plastic fire? Is it an electricity fire? So all this information is very vital because it will help them determine the response that they need to send. And most important, no matter what you do not re-enter the building. So, the final takeaway that I want to put forward in the show is that fires are predictable. There are global standards that exist. We talked about NFPA, IFC, European codes, ISO, and enforcement of these codes or enforcement can save lives. And remember, prevention is always stronger than regrets. Genuinely hope that this show can positively help enforce some standards and save lives in the future. That was it for this week with the Grey Zone with Ali Manzoor. Until next week, stay critical, stay curious, and keep asking questions. Because between the black and the white lies the grey.